Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you some flying AI. So let me just crack open my editor. What was I going to show you? I just shot this video just before and I just realized I wasn't recording the screen, so that's a classic move by me. Let me just show you. So I'll just come over here to my start and I'll just drop a jellyfish in. So it's just a static mesh, he rotates and he just flies around. So every couple of seconds he's just getting a new velocity and then he's moving. Simple, really. That's basically what the asteroids are doing in the background. They have a projectile movement and they're just setting, but they're setting their velocity. But the jellyfish, he doesn't use projectile movement, he uses this flying component which I've given him. So in the jellyfish blueprint, don't worry about any of this other stuff. The only thing that's important for flying AI is the flying component. So he has a flying component. Inside of that, literally all that does is get a reference to the character movement and then just set the movement mode to flying. Simple. And then once the movement mode is set to flying, you can use a behavior tree, but you don't have to use a behavior tree. All you need to do is just set the velocity of the character movement to whatever you want, and then the AI will move in that direction, up, down, left, right, anyway. And that's literally flying AI. So if I just simulate it again and I look at the behavior tree, don't worry about that thing on the left. That's just a behavior that I've put in high priority to just stop everything when he gets stunned by a projectile. Is all my volume and stuff on? Let me just check. Hello. Yeah. So literally all it's doing is just setting its velocity in this task and then just waiting for a little bit of time and then it's just going again. Where's he going? There he is. So it's literally that simple. Set the movement mode to flying and then just set the velocity to whatever you want it. Now let me show you the other thing that I've built today. So this thing over here is a spawner, and what that's doing is just spawning in a group of jellyfish. And what these ones are doing is they're a little bit more complex than just setting the velocity to something random, but not much more complex. It's actually quite a simple behavior. They're actually taking in four different four different bits of information, and then they're setting their velocity from that. So if you look at these lines on the screen, they're all capsule collisions attached to these guys, and each jellyfish is aware of all the other jellyfish inside that capsule collision. And so what it's doing when it's setting the velocity of each jellyfish from the behavior tree just here, let me just go in and show you. So when it sets the velocity, it actually makes up that velocity from a bunch of different stuff. So when the behavior fires, let me just run through this because this will be interesting for anyone who wants to learn about flying AI, and AI in particular that influences the decisions of itself based on the other AI around it. So what we're doing is this is just getting all of the overlapped actors of the same class inside of that big radius that I showed you. So each one of them has this big sphere radius and they're aware of all of the other jellyfish inside it. It just uses overlap events. When they overlap another same class actor, it just saves it to an array. So then what I'm doing is I'm getting all of the same class actors that are in that, I'm getting their velocities and I'm getting their locations. Yeah, and then what I'm doing is I'm normalizing the average velocity of all of them. So let me rephrase that. So it's getting the velocity of every other jelly that it's aware of. It's finding the average of all of those jellies, and then it's normalizing that to a value of 1. So it's just the direction. It's getting the average direction of all the other jellyfish. And the reason that I do that and the reason that I save its position is because of these four values here. What I'm getting these jellyfish to do is set their velocity based on what the other jellyfish are doing, which way they're going, where the other jellyfish are, what my velocity is, so that when it sets its new velocity, it's not too different to the one that it's already got, so they move in sort of smooth patterns rather than just janky zigzags. And the final element that goes into it, the fourth element, is just a degree of randomness, so that they're not all just copying each other, but they kind of have their own direction that they're trying to go in. So what you get when you combine all of those four things together is you get jellyfish that sort of bloop around like this in different directions to each other, but they're all trying to get to the center of the pack to some degree. They're all trying to match each other's velocities as well, and they're all trying to maintain a smooth, continuous velocity with what they've already got. So if I jump in and play the game, and I've got a fast forward key here, watch them. They all stick together as they move across. So they're all like kind of moving apart and doing their own sort of thing, but they're all staying together as a pack. And they should just respawn if I keep fast forwarding. Yeah, and see, now they're going in a different direction, but again, they're sticking together. Oh my god, did I just crash it? I made it go too quick. Yeah, so everything's still working? That's good to know. So let me just run through those settings that I've got really quick. I'm loading a bunch of parameters here, which I'll get to in a second. So this is the randomness element. Basically what I'm doing is I'm getting 4 unit vectors, four different direction vectors, and then adding them all together, and then the resulting vector is going to be the direction that we're moving in. So once I get them all added together, I normalize it so it has a value of 1, and then I multiply that normalized vector by some value, which is going to be the speed, which is drawn from the component, which I'll talk about in a sec. So basically we're just getting a random unit vector. We're getting the average velocity of all of the other jellyfish normalized to a value of 1. So this is a value of 1, this is a value of 1, which is the average velocity of all the other jellyfish. We're also getting a unit direction vector from us to the center of all of the other jellyfish. So this is the center of the pack. We're getting that unit direction vector as well towards the center. And then we also have our velocity, which is normalized to a value of 1. So we have these 4 vectors, all a value of 1 each. So we add them together, normalize it back to a value of 1, and then multiply it by the speed. Now, there's another step that you can take. Instead of just having them all having the same weight, you can multiply them all by a different value. So say you wanted to have like jellyfish which spread out really quick. You'd have the multiplying factor for the move to center of pack be really low, and you'd have the random element be really high. So you'd have a high value in here for the randomness multiplier and a low value in here for the move to center of pack. And if you wanted the reverse and you wanted them to all just huddle together, you'd have the randomness factor really low and you'd have the center of pack really high, and you'd probably have the neighbor influence really high as well, because you'd want them to, well, you could have the match throw. Well, it depends what you want. Like if you want them to just huddle together and not go anywhere, then you wouldn't worry too much about the neighboring velocities. You just have them go towards the center of the pack. But if you wanted them to huddle together and move through space as well, then you'd have the neighbor influence as well. And this janky movement one, do you want the movement to be smooth, or do you want it to just go random? I don't know. There's heaps of different things that you can do with it, and you can play with it, and it's pretty cool to see how they behave. But all of the different weights that I'm multiplying these values from, they just come from the flying component over here. So this is called a Boid simulation, I'm pretty sure. Something like that, where the actions of each individual part of the system are influenced by the other parts around it. So like if you think about flocks of birds flying, or like fish in the ocean, they all sort of they follow each other in a school. And you can simulate that. I think you call them Boids, if you want to look into that a little bit more. But yeah, so basically all of the values are just here. I have the weight to center, match velocity weight, random velocity weight, and current velocity weight. And if I go to my class defaults up there, you can see what I've got them set to right now. So that's producing the effect that we've got, and you can play with those and do all sorts of different shit. So that's what I've been busy with today. It's a really simple flying AI system, you know. Flying AI doesn't need to be complicated at all. And if you wanted them to watch out for different things as well, you could change their velocity if there's something in the path. So if they're approaching, say, like a big floating object, you'd favor velocity that is on a tangent, what do you call it, a tangent, or just perpendicular to the thing that you're heading towards, so you can get them to steer away from it. I'm just checking my list of things that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, okay, so I had some footage earlier where I was playing with some different Boid parameters, so I'm just gonna edit that in right here. So that's basically it, guys. That's flying AI. That's the flying AI that I've got working, and how you might want to set up flying AI in your own game. In other news, the game, it's going pretty well and it's pretty exciting, but I also feel like I need a fucking break. I was gonna have it done by this weekend. That was my goal, and you know, I still, it's definitely achievable and I could do it, but my heart's just not in it at the moment. And I've learned over the years to listen to how I'm feeling about projects, because, you know, if you're not into it, like if you're not feeling it, it's just gonna turn out like shit, honestly, and like you can ruin what would otherwise be a really good project by forcing it to happen in a time frame that it wasn't meant to happen in. And I know from my own past experience that when I step away from things, when I'm not feeling like doing it, and just fuck the deadline off or whatever, if it's a good project, I'll come back to it and I'll do it properly, you know, and I'm confident that I'll come back to this. So, and yeah, I'm confident that I'll come back and it'll be a much better product than what it otherwise would have been if I had to just force through it. I guess I've been spending so much time in the editor lately, and like it's been really fun and it's been really good, and I've had a lot of cool stuff sort of come out, but I think I just need to try some different shit for a while, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from this. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about what I showed you about the flying AI, drop them below. If you've got any questions for me or comments for me, or you just want to chat or fucking say some stupid shit and post some memes, or I don't know, whatever. If you just want to say hi, I don't bite. Drop all your comments below and we can talk. That'd be really nice. That's it, guys. I'm going to cut that there. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that'll be. I don't know when it's going to be. We'll just have to wait and see when I get back into this stuff. But I hope you've enjoyed the development logs lately. Let me know if you have enjoyed them, because it's hard to tell, because there hasn't been a whole lot of comments and things, which is fine as well. We'll get there, baby. I've enjoyed doing them anyway, so that's the main thing. But yeah, let me know if you've enjoyed them, because I'm just curious. So see you next time.